Hey everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 42 of Project Ozone 3. In between episodes, I didn't do much except I went to the end and got a lot of chaos shards, mainly because today we're going to be making a bunch of chaotic cores so that we can make these chaos ingots. We're going to be going through the automation of pretty much everything from extended crafting and Avaridia, as well as awakened cores. We're just going to automate everything up to awakened and then chaotic cores. It's going to be quite an undertaking. I don't know how long it's going to take, so if this ends up being a long episode, that's perfectly fine with me because we have 3 episodes left until the finale, and I need to get trucking. So without any further ado, let's get to it. Before we begin, I'll just say that I am not going to hook up anything to pre-existing systems like my ME system. Everything's going to be standalone. The reason I'm doing this is I feel like if I make everything standalone and piece by piece, it'll be easier to replicate and for you to build into your own setups. So yeah, everything is going to be its own individual machine, and I don't know if I've ever really stated this, but I love building complicated machines, Rube Goldberg machines or what have you. But without any further ado, let's get started. What I've done is I've moved my Draconic Fusion crafting injector in here, replicated the setup over here, and made a set of 9 more Draconic Fusion crafting injectors. The reason I'm going to do this is because over here I'm going to be making awakened cores, because awakened cores are going to be required to make the chaotic cores. So whatever is being made here is going to be transferred into the back of these fusion injectors so that we can make the chaotic cores. So that's the first thing that we're going to be doing this episode. One new thing that we're going to be getting into for this episode are these wireless connectors, and they're very, very simple to do. So I'm going to first of all hook in an export bus to these 2 chests and connect it with Fluix cable. Here we go. And next thing I need to do is I need to take this wireless setup kit. Oh, I should probably go over what it takes to actually craft this stuff. So if you have the EMC, yeah, you can just grab it right out of your transmutation tablet. But it's made with pure Fluix crystals, iron ingots, wireless receivers. If I'm honest, I should have gotten into these a long time ago. But whatever, we're going to be using them for now. You're also going to need the wireless setup kit, which is a network tool, wireless receiver, and engineering processor. It also has an EMC value. So I have made 2 of these. The first one is actually connected to my ME system already. And wow, this actually seems a little hypocritical considering I just said, here we go. Considering I just said that I wasn't going to hook into the ME system. But yeah, I have one wireless connector right here. And the reason for that being, take my wireless setup kit and shift right click. And it says it's going to be bound to that specific location. Painted glowstone, nether bricks. Now go over to the other wireless connector and just regular right click, and you'll see a blue line connect to it and it'll go green. So this is actually connected to my ME system now. I don't need to put power to this because it's being powered from the ME system, from that base one that's actually connected to my controllers. So next thing I'm going to do, over these export buses, I'm going to put in another star right here. And I am going to put in chaos shards right here. So, yep, chaos shards and nether stars are going to start populating into this chest. I should actually probably make a capacity as well. Now this ugliness right here is just a proof of concept. I'm actually going to embed it underneath the floor into this chest. However, what I have here is a ME level emitter, and right now it has nether stars in there. So whenever my ME system has more than 800 nether stars inside it, then it's going to start emitting a redstone signal. Once it emits that redstone signal, then the ME export bus will turn on and it will start pumping all the nether stars into this chest. So I'm going to, you see that I have 798 nether stars in the ME system. I'm going to put all of these in here. Whoops. You see that the ME level emitter started emitting and nether stars are starting to go in. The only reason I did this is because I don't want this entire chest to be populated with nether stars, and yeah, it's just if I fill up the entire chest, then any of the awakened cores that get created here, they're going to have nowhere to go. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that there was an arbitrary limit to how many nether stars are in this chest. And I'm going to do the same with the chaotic shards, even though I only have a little over 2 stacks of chaotic shards. That is what the ME level emitters are going to be doing for me. And I'm going to eventually add an import bus to turn the awakened cores to an ender chest, and that ender chest will connect to the to the crafting injectors. I am eyeing a lot right now. The next thing that we're going to go over is we're going to make all of the necessary items to make the awakened cores. So we're going to need wyvern cores, awakened draconium, and to make the wyvern cores I need draconium ingots and draconic cores. Draconic cores need gold and draconium. It's a messy process. So I've gone ahead and made my draconium ingot doubler. Well, I've gone over this in multiple episodes before. I'm not going to go over it again. You just need a pulverizer, zenith furnace, and large storage crate. And yeah, it's very quick at ore doubling pretty much anything. Anything that can be pulverized, that is. So the next thing that I'm going to go over is making the... I have my energy condensers, and those are going to be used to make my nether stars, gold ingots, and diamonds. With the help of... I've had my octuple compressed sugarcane blocks going for quite a while. So I'm going to use the cobblestone for the nether stars and the sugarcane for everything else. And I'm going to attach those to analog crafters and pump those with ender chests into the back of my fusion crafting injector. So I'm going to get all of that set up and then explain exactly what the process is, because it's going to look convoluted, or at least in my brain it's convoluted. Who knows how it's going to look when I actually put it down. You know what, that's really not all that complicated. So I have my energy condensers making diamonds, gold, and nether stars going into this analog crafter. And this analog crafter is going to be making me draconic cores. Draconic cores go in here, make me wyvern cores. And the wyvern cores will go into this ender chest. I may need... the reason why I'm using analog crafters is because the crafters over here from RF Tools, they kind of mess up a little bit, especially since I'm going to be using the same ingredients in multiple recipes. There's a chance that it will just never create me the wyvern cores because it wants the draconic ingots to only go to the draconic cores. So I'm just using two separate analog crafters just to make sure that I am using all necessary materials and not really wasting anything or risking not making the wyvern cores, the things I really care about. So that's why I'm using the analog crafters, even though there is a noticeable amount of lag in this area right now. And actually maybe because of my zenith furnace, who knows? In any case, I'm going to move on to actually making the awakened draconium ingots, because those are the next things that we need to create in order to get these recipes up and running. So I set up a little farming area here, and it's being picked up by a plant gatherer. The plant gatherer is actually going to an RF Tools crafter. Like I said in the last clip, the reason why I'm not using an RF Tools crafter here is because I have multiple crafting items that require the draconium ingots, and I don't want to risk the crafter getting mucked up because it doesn't know which recipe to apply the draconium ingots to. But with the awakened, I don't have that problem. But it's going into another one of these pink cyan ender chests, going over here, and then it's just being exported to my fusion crafting injectors. Every single fusion crafting injector has a filter for a specific item. So it's 5 awakened draconium ingots and 4 wyvern cores. So I have my awakened cores being made, no problem. It's just a matter of actually getting these out, and it is somewhere where I can actually be using them, mainly for making the chaotic cores. I also removed quite a bit of lag from the area by removing the electric fuel upgrade from the zenith furnace and just sticking to blocks of coal. And this thing is always receiving draconium. I'm just need to make sure that I keep an eye on the coal. But yeah, with the electric fuel upgrade, it was only activating. Well, of course you can't see it now. But it was only activating and causing a lighting update, which is a very frequent lighting update, because with the electric fuel upgrade, it only goes whenever it sees something it can use, and this is too sporadic for that to risk it. So I removed the electric, put in the coal. I no longer have to worry about the lighting update affecting the lag in the area. So yeah, I got it running pretty smooth again. Alright, so here we go. We're finally making chaotic cores. I did the same exact thing. Oh wow, awakened cores are not really going in that quick. So I am currently bottlenecked by awakened cores not being made very quickly, but luckily I have quite a few awakened cores. So every single thing associated with this rig is hooked up to these ender chests now. I figured it was just easier, and if I needed to grab awakened cores, it's all in one location, and that I could access from 5 different locations. So yeah, I am making chaotic cores. Very happy with that. One thing to note about the about doing the item conduits this way is make sure that on your extract side, round robin is enabled. Otherwise, it'll start extracting and it will try to fill up this one first, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And if you have round robin, it'll try to evenly distribute the extract to every available location. So yeah, just make sure that round robin's enabled if you're going to be doing things this way. But yeah, I have chaotic cores. Before we move on, I do want to recap what I did. So I have an inventory checker going towards a redstone conduit, just slot 0, amount 1, and all that's doing is it's sending a redstone signal to the fusion crafting core that if it sees something that it can make, then it will just press the start button in the fusion crafter, and it's a way to automate it instead of just looking at it, waiting for it to finish, and then starting. So yeah, that's what the inventory checker is for. I have an ender chest with a extract and an insert. The filters going for extracting awakened cores, and it's going to be inserting nether stars over here. And the same thing over here for my insert. I have extracting chaotic cores and inserting chaos shards. Easy, easy. Over here at the Draconic Fusion Crafting Injectors, I am taking out of this ender chest, this pink, white, cyan ender chest, and that's just where I'm storing everything that's being crafted. I have my creative generator powering all of the crafting injectors, and over here I am just making very slowly draconium ingots that are going to these analog crafters along with energy condenser Mark IIs that are just making me diamonds, gold ingots, and nether stars so that I can make my draconic cores and my wyvern cores. Once I have wyvern cores, they're going right into the ender chest to be used by the crafting injectors. And this is pretty self-explanatory, although instead of using the analog crafters, I'm using a crafter tier 2. And right now, I have redstone mode ignored, so... oh, shoot, sorry, my bad. I don't have this going into the ender chest right now because it has more than enough awakened draconium ingots. I just didn't want to fill it up since I'm trying to make the chaotic cores. But that's why I have the extract off. And no issue there. And yeah, that is how I'm making my chaotic cores. It's pretty convoluted, but I'm very happy with it. And you know what? Let's take a little screenshot, huh? And with that, we're going to move on to automating infinity catalysts. Now, in order to automate the infinity catalyst, there are 4 things that I need automation for themselves. The creative essence, which I'm honestly not sure whether or not I'm actually going to do that. But the endest pearls, the cosmic meatballs, and the ultimate stew are very complicated recipes all on their own. So I need to make like I need to automate making chicken dinner and then throwing it into an ultimate crafting table. I've already worked on getting the endest pearls done and over with, and it took quite a bit of tinkering because of these dang automation interfaces. So as I've covered in a previous episode, with the automation interfaces, sometimes things get stuck in here. So if there are a total of 4 items that I need to make endest pearls, and if it gets to the nether star portion of it, then it'll just keep pumping in ender stars, even though ender stars can't go into the table. So yeah, it's quite a problem, and I think I've mitigated most of it by the use of these timers next to item conduits. And the item conduits are on a... almost just deactivated that. But the conduits are on a... they'll only extract whenever there is a redstone pulse applied to it. So with these timers, and I have a delay of 100, and then 30, 20, and 10, just to make sure that it's getting the... an even distribution of stuff going through here. In order to make my endest pearls, they're going into this ender chest, and all of my ender chests related to this automation process, they're all going to start with pink, just because it's easier to easier to remember. So yeah, I'm making endest pearls, no problem with that. I just had to trick it into using timers, because otherwise I just would have used levers and, oh, how's it doing? Okay, it needs more endstone? Click this. But yeah, I'm using, once again, energy condensers because they're the easiest thing to get all of this stuff automated and without making massive machines that'll lag out the factory. So, energy condensers, and those are endist pearls. The next thing I need to do is make the cosmic meatballs. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up another wireless network, and I'm going to transfer everything I have related to the cosmic meatballs right out of the network and into a bunch of barrels that'll be right here, and the barrels will transfer into another ultimate crafting table. What I was going to do is I was actually going to use the mob duplicators, and I was just going to grab every single mob and throw it in a mob duplicator. Then I remembered that I need the anti-sheep, the anti-pigs, and the anti-chickens, pigs and cows, and those things have a chance of exploding, and just like I did a couple episodes ago, I don't want to ruin part of my infrastructure trying to make something. So I'm relying on woot farms. I already have most everything I need in the woot farm. Here we go. Where are you connected to? Good. So I'm just going to rely on the woot farms in order to do this. I already have most of the materials I need, like the rabbit, the imp hide, the meat, and the venison, as well as the, ghast meat. So I just have to worry about the anti-stuff now. So I only have 10 stacks. Well, I have very little anti-stuff that I'm going to need, so I already got out my factory controllers, and as soon as I'm happy with the amount of imp and rabbit I have, I'm going to set all of it up and move it into the barrels over here. What that's going to take is for me to, where are my export buses? Is for me to put some more export buses right here, connected to this barrel connector. The reason why I did this is because I'm going to get capacity cards, and I should have plenty of capacity cards. Ooh, well, I only have 2 capacity cards. That stinks. But they have EMC values, so capacity. So what the capacity cards are going to do for me is the more that I add to my export buses, and just adding 2 of them will mean that I can have a total of 9 things exported to this barrel connector. So the way the ME export buses work, if I haven't explained it already, I'm not sure if I have, but the way that they work is they will only export whatever is in this filter. So since I have a total of 13 items that I'm going to need to export into these barrels in order to make the cosmic meatballs, that's why I have these capacity cards in here. There we go, just like this. So I have all 13 items inside the export buses, and oh wow, yeah, it's transferring. We can make it faster, so I'm going to throw these. I've already thrown these acceleration cards in here, just so I can speed up how quickly things are going to be going in. So it looks like it's only doing 1 export bus at a time, so I'm going to have to wait for everything to fill up eventually. These barrels already have infinity upgrades in it. I'm not worried about that. But we'll cover this up with the facades, and boom, now I just have to wait for everything to populate. I'm starting to get really frustrated. It keeps getting stuck on meef. Like, I'm trying to get everything to... Every single one of these barrels is on a round robin. But the automation interface isn't smart enough to recognize that it doesn't need any more meef. Stop trying to give it meef. So, I'm not sure the way around that to actually get it to start crafting the things I need it to. So, I may back burner this for a second, try to think of something that I can do to actually get this thing to work properly. I mean, if I hook this straight into the ME system, then that could possibly work, but it's not going to stop the automation interface from thinking it needs something it doesn't need. So, yeah, you can see that it's actually started to take the piles of neutronium, so yeah, I'm happy with that. It's just a matter of, what is it missing now? Yeah, it's missing venison. It's missing these 2 right here. Yeah, I'm just going to back burner this for a sec. Well, true to Kelly form, I was just overthinking it. So I got the ME export buses attached to this chest. And yeah, they're doing the same thing that they were doing before, just taking everything necessary in order to craft the meatballs into this chest. And I didn't put any acceleration in there, it's just the capacity cards, because I don't want this chest to fill up too quickly. What it's doing is everything that's in here, it's going through and throwing it into the table. And it's actually doing it in a pretty decent order, too. Let's see, how many cosmic meatballs have I made so far? I've made 192, and as you can see, it's raising pretty steadily. So this is a system that works, and works very well. So yeah, the wireless connector, go into this diamond chest, it's importing into the automation interface. Anything extra is getting, and the cosmic meatballs, are getting put into this chest and then imported directly back into the ME system, so I don't have to worry about that. And then this ender chest is where the cosmic meatballs I already had are going to go, and we're just going to connect it to the ME interface and extract them to put in the ender chest here. Boom. Alright, the next thing that we need to be doing is, well, I cooked up all of this chicken because I need to automate making chicken dinner. The chicken dinner, rice, beans, spicy greens, tomato, potatoes, all that stuff. Oh, that has an EMC value. And this is actually the part I've been dreading the entire episode, having to automate all of this because the stock requires a recipe. Don't get me wrong, the pot's reusable, but now that I know it has an EMC value, we're going to be... Oh, the chicken dinner has an EMC value too. I can cheese this so much. Well then, I probably should have looked. This has an EMC value, so all of this cooked chicken, throw it in the bin. Oh boy, this was quite a thing, and it's still not even done. I just wanted to pop in and give a quick status report. So I have a bunch of crops over here, growing and being collected by this plant gatherer, and it's being immediately sent over to this ME drive. So I have stocked with the maximum amount of storage cells, and I even hooked up a crafting terminal just to see everything that's in it. So yeah, the tomatoes, the rice, the potatoes, and the beans that I need for this recipe are, I have plenty of them. Getting those just fine into the ultimate crafting table. The thing that ended up being the hardest part for this was actually the spicy greens, and that's because of these peppercorns. Everything else could be handled just fine, but these peppercorns, in order to make the black pepper, that was the only thing that I was really missing for all of this. And as you can see, this bonsai is just slow going. I've had this going for, I don't know, about 30 minutes, and yeah, 21 black pepper is not enough to keep this going for very long. So I went over to the greenhouse over here, and where I had peppercorn growing for quite a while, and I just turned it into pepper, dumped it, a large portion of it in here, and yeah, I have spicy greens for quite a bit of spicy greens. I'm gonna figure out something that I can do to make this grow a little quicker. Maybe get an easier way for peppercorns to come in, because these spicy greens are definitely going to be a bottleneck. But other than that, I'm about to hook this all into this ME drive, and then from the ME drive, all I have to do is whoop, throw in the items into the export bus. They'll start going into the chest, and from the chest, it's going to export here into another one of the ender chests for over here, and part 3 will be complete. One thing I should note with this Crafter Tier 1 is if you look at the recipe right now, this has a saucepan, and even with the mustard, it has the juicer. So, yeah, the way that I have things going right now is you can see I have external C, which is a result of the crafting operation will go to the output buffer, but remaining items like buckets or a juicer or a saucepan will stay in the input buffer. So whenever these things are being made, it'll, instead of going to the output buffer like this mustard and the spicy greens are, the juicer and the saucepan will just stay here. And actually, I don't even think my crafter over there for my Insanium is even doing that, but I should probably set it up. But that's what the purpose of the external C is. And it's just for stuff that is reusable in your recipe, and you don't want it to be shot out of the system just to wait for it to come back in. Alright, I've just put everything inside my export bus, and I don't think I went over this last time when I was using the export bus, but with the scheduling mode, make sure you have export using round robin on. Otherwise, if you have it on the export in random mode, then more than likely it won't do what you want it to. So have it in round robin, and it'll just cycle through the things that you want, and it'll put in like one item of each, ensuring an even distribution as it goes into your automation interface. Now, all I need to do now is just power the dang thing. Actually, oh, I don't even have the recipe. So where are my spicy greens? Spicy greens right here. Ultimate stew. Save the recipe. Config. Auto insert on the east side. And I'm going to, what side am I on right now? South. Export onto the south side. Make sure that auto eject is on just in case, and smart insert on. All I have to do is power it and it'll start going. So let's get a Spectre coil. Spectre coil. I just got done checking my reactor to make sure that all of the, oh yeah, look at that. Alright, so all I need to do is get a diamond chest. Boom, yeah, I got that right here. And it starts putting the ultimate stew in. So actually, putting the diamond chest was silly. I need to put an ender chest. Cool, so here we have the 4 ender chests of the things that we've been setting up this entire episode. And we also have some energy condensers that I'm going to set up to hold the records, let's look at just the records and the neutronium ingots, actually. And the crystal matrix ingots I have over here, so I still need to hook those into the system. Unfortunately, I am so out of time. I still need to edit this episode. It's 11:49 p.m. on Sunday. So I am going to hook all of this up in between episodes and go over exactly how I set up in the next episode. So hopefully the title wasn't too misleading that we're automating extended crafting here. But yeah, I am just so out of time. On the next episode, I'm actually going to go over what else do we have to get through. So we definitely need to get through the chaos ingots. So next episode, we're going to get to the chaos ingots, and I have no idea how many chaos shards I have right now. Oh, not nearly enough. So in between episodes, I'm also going to go to the end and kill more chaos dragons so I can keep that going. And why are my awakened draconium? That'll do it. Alright, but yeah, in between episodes, I'm going to get more chaotic shards, get more chaotic cores, and we're going to do some chaos stuff in the next episode. But I am Kelly Engineering. I hope that you did enjoy the episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.